Hey, welcome to 7 Minute Stories here on the 167, and I'm here with Dan.
Hello.
Dan, how are you doing?
Pretty good. How about you?
Good. So you wanted to come in and share something powerful that has happened in a relationship with your cousin, right?
Yes.
So her name was Kimber, right?
Yep. Kimber Lane.
All right. Why don't you tell me a little bit about her, right? We're going to put 7 minutes on the clock,
All right.
and you can just tell me a little bit about what God's doing in that situation and what happened.
So, what did come? I would like to address like the storyline first. So, how did Kimber come into the life? Kimber was from Guatemala in 2005. Her mom placed her up for adoption because of poverty. So, Kimber was coming to the U.S. to be adopted by a family through a agency in Kansas City, and the adoption fell through, but she was brought to Kansas City to place in a temporary home. She was 11 months old, and they finally,
She had a diagnosis around that time,
yeah,
right?
so arriving in the States, she was diagnosed with cerebral palsy. Sorry, I'm bad at saying that, and autism and nonverbal autism. So, through the series of unusual circumstances, my aunt and uncle met Kimber, and when they did, she fell in love with her and wanted to adopt her. She was welcomed by my aunt and uncle, thankfully, and her four brothers and sisters.
Are you about her age?
Yes, so she was 16 when she died last winter, around the winter time. So sadly she passed, but she was closest cousin to me. So you know how every family has cousins that are close to each other? I had her, and it was pretty cool because once we see somebody special like us two, we go to each other and just know we're brothers and sisters. It's like following through Christ. You know we're brothers and sisters, but in our gut it tells us we're brothers and sisters.
Well, I know that you have a diagnosis of autism as well,
Yes,
right?
high functioning autism.
Yeah, and it was.
Yes.
I thought that was amazing. I watched you work at VBS because there was a young boy that came in with autism as
Yes.
well, and you were able to recognize that. And
Yes.
I remember that because you said, "Man, can I just be his buddy?"
Yeah.
And it was so helpful because you would walk around with him and say, "Hey, here's what he's asking for. Here's what he wants."
Yeah, I wasn't really thinking about that I would find somebody like that at the VBS camp because he was in kindergarten. I was working with games. I didn't even expect it. And the first 2 days, every single time he saw me, he would just hug me. I'm like, this is my brother right here through Christ and through us.
Yeah.
So it was pretty cool. I got to work with him for the rest of the week, one-on-one, and I was thankful that I was there and other people were there too because they got to learn from me how to take care of them.
Yeah, that was extremely helpful. As
yeah.
somebody who doesn't always understand that
Yeah.
relationship, and so you had that same relationship with your cousin Kimber. That
Yes.
you both had autism, and you felt that bond. You
Yes.
were close.
Yeah.
And so you said that she passed away January of 2021, right?
Yeah, yeah. And she sadly had a stomach virus kind of thing. But yeah.
Yeah.
But,
So when that happened, what was, you had come to me at that time too and was talking about different things that had happened in that situation
Yeah.
that the Lord was ministering to you or during the
Yes.
funeral.
yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about that?
So what was the question again? Sorry.
Just like what were some of the God moments in that?
Well, it was really weird because some of the God moments, I wasn't really there or close when she passed away and stuff. But whenever we met her, she was always so kind, and she had a smile on her heart almost every single time I saw her. Almost every single time I saw her, she was smiling. There's only been like one or two different times throughout my life that when I got to see her, she wasn't smiling. And she had so much wrong. She was in a wheelchair. She couldn't verbalize and everything, and she was happy all the time. So it was pretty crazy because I learned from that. That's why I'm normally a happy, upgoing guy. I learned it from her. We just all should learn because we all struggle, but there's always somebody with more struggles and a harder life. We got to remember that. So we got to stay positive and stay uplifting to help that other person.
Well, you and I have talked about that a couple times
Yeah.
where you say that's kind of your way to honor her, right?
Yes, very
Is
much
to
so.
to spread that kind of joy and happiness because she
Yes.
was such a happy individual.
Yes, sir. Yes.
That's
Very much so.
fantastic.
Yeah.
What do you think that happiness came from?
I really don't know. I think it's partly through God, because it was another story. It was weird because almost every single time she went to church, she would be dead silent. And it was crazy for her, especially because I think whenever she was out and about, she'd always yell and scream.
Mm-hmm.
And she loved it. She was just having fun listening to her music and yelling and screaming. It sounds bad, but she was really singing in her own way. And I think it was to have people laugh at her and stuff, not intentionally, but to just have fun with it. She noticed people were laughing, and that made her happy.
Mm-hmm.
It was all about happiness, I
But
think.
she'd come to church and she was still and
Yes.
peaceful.
Silent.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And it was pretty cool because I think it was 6 months before she died. She had her first communion in the Catholic Church, which was amazing. And instead of just giving her the bread and stuff, they actually taught her about saying amen and stuff. And I think when they were leaving the building, she actually said awesome, awesome, yes on her talker
That's really cool.
after she was blessed in the communion. So we knew that she was going to heaven. So
That's
yeah.
good. So one of the questions that you had talked about a little bit is how you felt about what your aunt and uncle did in adopting her and how you feel about adoption in general. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, so I really liked it. I really liked it because my family, my aunt and uncle were so open about it, and sorry, I'm losing train of thought.
That's okay. Take your time.
They opened up their hearts and gave her everything they had. Also, so did her brothers and sisters. I was so thankful about. Because sometimes in those situations, brothers and sisters don't want to give up their family for an outcast kind of thing. But they opened
They
up
feel
their,
like they're taking up so
yeah,
much of their time
yeah.
away from their parents.
Yeah, and it's just amazing how they opened up. Their actions inspired me to be so much more selfless. Like, I noticed I need to share my love from them and what they did to Kimber to more people.
Well, I think I can see that evident in your life because you're always
Yes.
showing up before youth group and helping set up.
Yes.
You're always someone who's quick to share. You're always someone who's quick to help out.
Yes, I love to do that. And also forgiving people. Equality, no matter how special their special needs, skin color, or whoever they are. So that's a big piece. They didn't care that she was female. They didn't care that she was special needs. They didn't care about her race. They treated like anybody. So did my mom. It was crazy. We actually skipped this part, but it was crazy because they had caregivers that they needed breaks sometimes, and they had to work and stuff. So they would have caregivers, and caregivers were amazing that they had. And they made sure to find the right ones, and one of them was my mom. And I'm so blessed and thankful that she was able to do that. She was an awesome caregiver. Everybody will agree with that. And she always saved hugs for special people. And I noticed she gave her some of the best hugs ever to my mom. And that was really cool. And it's just crazy to know that my mom was able to help her out just like I would wanted to.
That's great. Do you have any last minute advice? Because I know that's a very special issue for you about how to treat people with autism.
I say, well, I made this saying up by myself, but it's treat us the same but care for us more. So it might just treat us like the same as a normal human being and just treat us like anybody else. Equality again. And once you do that, it might take some harder work to get in a conversation with us. It takes a lot of patience. I have trouble being patient around my fellow brothers and sisters. It's hard. And you just have to slowly take it baby steps pretty much and try to have a conversation with them. And yeah, so you have to slowly take it, and just patience is key.
Well, thanks for bringing that to our attention. And like I said, I'm really proud of you. I know we all are here. Like I said, you've taken that and you've always been joyful, always have a sense of gratitude about you, and you even brought that, like I said, to help us be better at caring for people in your situation as well, through VBS and through other things. So thanks for coming on and telling your 7-minute story.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right.
That was so much fun.
No problem. Hey guys, thanks for joining us here on 7-Minute Stories. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.